So this session will help us properly set the mood and understand what it takes to become an instrument of Krishna. We will also try to understand who is actually an instrument of Krishna. And then after that, we'll have some discussion amongst ourselves, some kind of brainstorming, where we will spiritually aspire that this is my present state in spiritual life, and I aspire to serve the mission of Srila Prabhupada by becoming an instrument in this way. And this discussion will be very nice because we will hear from others, we will feel very inspired. So talking about becoming an instrument of Krishna, there is a very nice prayer written by Srila Prabhupada, which is a prayer written in pure devotion, called Boro Kripa Koile Krishna. Requesting devotees to open that prayer. Until then, I will do the Mangalacharan. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahim Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamayi Hai वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरिः ओम तत्सत्। Hare Krishna. So becoming an instrument, I was just reading one of the quotes of Srila Prabhupada. He has written various letters to various disciples where he says that I'm just an instrument. In one of the letters he says, I'm simply an instrument in the hands of my spiritual master. I do not know how far I have got the capacity to carry out his order, but I may say that I have a sincere desire to do it. So this is called, actually there are many various aspects of being an instrument. When I was reading this bhajan, prayer written in pure devotion, these Vaishnav songs, they are the condensed essence of the Vedic literature. What we will understand by reading the whole Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, the essence of everything is there in one or two Vaishnav songs. So the essence of being an instrument is there in this song. So let's try to meditate upon it. At least when I was reading it, I saw that there are at least 4 aspects of being an instrument. But first, let's sing it. Devotees are requested to see the meaning of the song also while we sing, so that we don't have to separately recite the meaning of it. Bodo kripa koile Krishna adhamera prati. Bodo kripa koile Krishna अधमेरा की लागिया नीले हे था कोरोए बेगती आछे किछु कार्य तब अनुमान नाहे के नानी बेना स्थान राजस्तमो गुणेरा सबाई आक्षना वासुदेव कथा रुचि नाहि से प्रसन्न तबे जदि तब कृपा होया है सकले संभव होए तुमी से कौतुकी कि भावे बुझाल तार बुझे से एता कृपा करो प्रभु करि निज बश तुम्हारा इच्छाया सब होए माया बश तुम्हारा इच्छया नाश मायारा परश इच्छा भय जदि तादेर धारा बुझिबे निश्चय तबे कथा से तुम्हारा भागवतेर कथा से तब अवतारा धीरा हैया सुने जदी ताने बार बारा So in this way, Srila Prabhupada is praying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, begging him to make him as an instrument. And then from the 9th stanza, he tells, as if Lord Krishna is asking, okay, I'm ready to make you my instrument. But what is your plan? What is your preaching strategy? So these are few verses which are the preaching strategy of Srila Prabhupada. And these are Bhagavatam verses, devotees can repeat. Shanvatam swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridayantah sthohi abhadrani Vidhnoti suhitsatam Nashtaprayeshva bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatya Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Tadarajastamo Bhavaha Kamalobhadayaschaye Cheta etairana vidham Sthitam sattve prasidati Evam prasanna manaso Bhagavad bhakti yogataha Bhagavad tattva vijnanam Mukta sangasya jayate Hidayate hidayah granthesh Chidyante sarva samshayah Shriyante chasya karmani Drishta evatmanishvare. So Srila Prabhupada says, this is my preaching strategy. These are some verses, sequential verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the way, Srila Prabhupada is telling, this is the way you have revealed it in Bhagavatam, and this is the way I also want to execute this mission of yours. And then the result of doing this will be Rajastamohate tabe aibe nistara Hridayera bhadra sabe Uchibe tahara Kikore budhavo katha Barose chahi Kudra ami dinahina Kono shakti nahi Athachayane cho prabhu Katha bolivane Je tomar इच्छा प्रभु करो बार जय तुम्हार इच्छा प्रभु अखिला जगत गुरु वचन से आमा अलंकृत करे समता तुम्हारा तब कृपा है मोर कथा शुद्ध शून्य सब शुक आज जदे प्रभु हमारे न चाहते ना चाओ प्रभु ना चाओ से मांगे जथा भक्तिना वेदना नामे खूब भक्ति वेदांत हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण in the mode of an instrument, please. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So this is what it means to be an instrument. I hope all of you read the translations as we were singing. So as I was reading this, I found 4 essential aspects highlighted in this bhajan. One is, of course, talking about the surrender. After that, in some verses, Srila Prabhupada presents his aspiration, what he wants to do for the Lord. And his aspiration is very similar to the desires of the Lord. Next is, he has a lot of faith. And finally, he completely says, my battery runs based on the empowerment of the Lord. So I am empowered. So surrender, aspiration, faith, and empowerment. If you take the first 4 initials, it becomes safe. So if you want to remain safe in bhakti, try to be an instrument. Surrender. Srila Prabhupada writes another letter. I really like letters of Srila Prabhupada, so I try to read them. Basically, in this prayer also, Srila Prabhupada is telling, Nachao, nachao, nachao sirmate. So when we try to become an instrument of the Lord, we cannot put terms and conditions on the Lord. That, my dear Lord, I'm trying to do what you have said. Now make sure I become successful. No. Srila Prabhupada is open in this prayer. He's saying that my job is to follow your instructions. After that, nachao, nachao. I'm like a kasthira putali in your hand. Just like we were discussing in the morning, the various kinds of devotees of Krishna in the various rasas, the common factor is that they want to please Krishna. Now, what it takes to please Krishna, that is what they want to do. And they are not concerned about puja, labh, man, pratishtha, all these upashakhas which are there in the path of bhakti. So he is fully surrendered. My dear Lord, your representative, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada has ordered me to do your work. It is your work which I am trying to do on the order of your representative only. Now you do whatever you want. If making me successful in fulfilling the instructions of my Guru makes you happy, then please do that. Otherwise, my God brothers tried in other areas. I have come to try in another area. That's what Srila Prabhupada told once when he was asked that why did you go to New York when your God brothers went to England? So Srila Prabhupada answered, my God brothers went to England and were not able to become successful. So I thought, at least let me go in some other place and try, so that I can say I went to another place and I was not successful. So this was his mood. So fully surrendered. At least I'm talking about myself as a confession in front of all the devotees, that when I try to do some service of the Lord, I have some expectations within. I'm Bhagwan ki seva kar raha hu. At least भगवान मेरे को ये करना चाहिए, वो करना चाहिए, ऐसे करना चाहिए, वैसे करना चाहिए. Krishna should able to understand. I'm an instrument after all. So that is not the case. We have to be fully surrendered. Na chao, na chao, na chao se mate. And then the second aspect of which I found in this prayer was, maybe you can also do a study. You can highlight which are the verses which fall in the category of surrender and which are the verses which fall in the category of aspiration. Aspiration of an instrument means the instrument has no other aspiration, motivation, or purpose other than the Lord. No personal motivations, no personal ambitions. Whatever the Lord wants is what they want. There is no question of, Lord wants this, I also want this, let me try to combine both. No. So Srila Prabhupada was very clear from the day one that he wants to serve his Guru, he wants to serve Lord Krishna. And in between, he did not do any other task. He went to the West with 40 rupees. And once towards the end of his physical pastimes, when he came back, there was one of his sons who would come to say that you are my father and you have created this organization and I have a right to it. So Prabhupada saw his pocket and he saw 40 rupees were there, he gave. He said, this is my property. Rest remaining is devotees' property, Krishna's property, they have made it. This does not belong to you. I went with 40 rupees to America, I have come back now, still I have 40 rupees, you please take it. So this is aspiration. One Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Ekya Arna Kariho Mane Asha. So at least an instrument should aspire to come to this stage, or an instrument is at this stage, that the instrument has no other desire other than the desires of Guru and Krishna. Srila Prabhupada highlights in Bhagavatam purpose that this is called oneness. Becoming one with Krishna means what? Sometimes all the devotees hate this term. I don't want to become one with Krishna. But Srila Prabhupada says becoming one with Krishna means having the same aspiration as that of Krishna, having the same aspiration as that of the representatives of Krishna. That is called becoming one with Krishna. So the whole spiritual world is one with Krishna, because all what they want is what Krishna wants. So this is called being an instrument. First, one has to surrender. While doing the seva, while trying to become an instrument, don't try to go against the Lord. First, surrender. Whatever He wants, that will happen. Be ready to accept it. This is that's why we say becoming an instrument is a very humbling task. Only the greatest hero can become an instrument. One who wants to retain their false ego, one who wants to retain Nishiddhachar, Kutinati, Jivahimsa, Puja, La, Pratishtha. So, sorry, you will not be able to handle becoming an instrument of the Lord. You will give up at one point of time. So, absolute surrender is needed. Aspiration to serve the Lord and the servants of the Lord is needed. And after that, faith should be there. Srila Prabhupada is telling here, especially in the last verse of this Vaishnava Bhajan, if you see, Bhakti nai, Veda nai, Name khub daro. I don't have devotion, I don't have any transcendental knowledge, but I have firm faith in you. Now Krishna is not different from his name. So he's telling, I have full faith in your name. So one of the aspects of being an instrument is that one should have strong faith in the Lord. See, our Lord is a very transcendental, autocratic personality. In the words of the Acharyas, He doesn't reveal the full plan to the devotees at one shot. He just tells what's the next step. And devotees are always in great transcendental anxiety. Ab kya hoga? Especially you see the story of the construction of the Juhu temple. Srila Prabhupada shed tears for that. He was in so much anxiety. All over the world he was traveling, but you see the number of letters which he has written inquiring about the Juhu project and calling people. Therefore, his transcendental anxiety has come out in the form of a book, I'll Build You a Temple, by His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj. But Srila Prabhupada always had faith in the plan of Krishna. He had faith in one of the conversations which he was having in the earlier stages when he was in New York with one person sitting on a bench. This is mentioned in Lamrit also. That he's sitting, ISKCON has not been established, and one person has approached him and he has asked him, what is your work here, why you have come here? So he tells why you are wearing this tilak. So he gives some practical answers. And then he says that there are a lot of books, there are a lot of devotees, there are a lot of temples. Only time is separating. Also in this prayer, he is telling, by the desire of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, everywhere Krishna consciousness will be spread. So this is called faith. Similarly, our acharyas, that is those who are in line with Srila Prabhupada, they have given us an order that make Bangalore the first Krishna conscious city. So any instrument of Srila Prabhupada should have faith that this is going to happen. Just like the kind of faith which Srila Prabhupada shows in the words of his spiritual master, the faith which Srila Prabhupada shows in the holy name of the Lord, absolute, that rock solid faith we should have in the statements of the sincere followers of Srila Prabhupada, that Bangalore is going to become the first Krishna conscious. So these are the characteristics of an instrument. The instrument is fully surrendered to the transcendental, inconceivable will of the Lord. They have, and the only aspiration which they have in circumstances which are beyond their intelligence is to serve the Lord. In fact, a sincere instrument, what is the characteristic of it? In whichever situation you put that instrument, their immediate inclination will be, in this situation, in this time, place, circumstances, with the given time and resources, what is the best I can do to serve the Lord? They don't think anything else. They don't give up. Srila Prabhupada says, elation in success and moroseness in failure is a sign of false ego. So false ego, instrument does not have false ego. They know that Lord has put me, in the second verse he's telling, you have brought me here, certainly you have some plan in your mind. Otherwise, why will you bring me to such a place? So another characteristic of an instrument is that he never gives up. In whichever circumstance you put the instrument, with the given time, place, circumstances, resources, limitations, they think, what is the best which I can do to please Guru and Krishna? So that is another aspect. And finally, empowerment. Throughout the prayer of Jaladuta, of course this is Jaladuta prayers only, 2 prayers written on the Jaladuta ship. So here Srila Prabhupada, throughout he is telling that I cannot do anything. You have to make my power of speaking favorable so that these people can understand. By your will they have come in Maya, and if you may so desire, they may be delivered by Maya. Basudeva Katha Ruchi Tahe Se Prasanna. If you want, if you cast your merciful glance on them, then it is completely possible that when I chant Hare Krishna sitting in Tompkins Square Park with no instrument, but with your name only, if I chant Hare Krishna, then people will understand. People will come and dance, and that's how my movement will start. And then it is your glory all throughout. So an instrument never takes credit. I will read one more letter which will touch your heart. One disciple is there glorifying Srila Prabhupada. He writes in the letter, your sentiments and nice words are worthy to be offered only to my Guru Maharaj. I am quite unfit for such words. Whatever I am doing, it is due to the blessings and the work of my Guru Maharaj. Actually, he is the power behind me, and I am only an instrument. So an instrument is always having this empowered consciousness that I am nothing. It's my spiritual masters, it's the parampara system. It is ultimately Krishna who is empowering me. So therefore, in ISKCON, this is a culture in ISKCON. At least externally, everybody follows it. Many people follow it internally also. Whenever something is said, Prabhuji, very nice you have done. They say all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So this is a very deep statement. That I am just all glories to Srila Prabhupada means I am just an instrument. And the more we meditate upon it and the more we consciously practice it, the more we become conscious about it, the more we will become surrendered, full of devotional aspirations, with a lot of faith and empowered as an instrument in the mission of Srila Prabhupada. And what happens if you become an instrument of Srila Prabhupada? You will do something great. Great not in terms of personal ambition or personal achievement. Great in terms of sacrifice and seva bhav for the Lord. Something which will bring smile on the face of the spiritual master. That is an instrument. An instrument does not do something which is very glorious, which does not bring pleasure to the spiritual masters. For instance, you do something very great. You build a great temple. You call the Rashtrapati. But if it doesn't give pleasure to the spiritual master, what's the point? Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. So an instrument always understands that I'm always empowered by the acharyas, I'm always empowered by Guru Krishna. And if at all I want to do something, it should be for their pleasure. Otherwise, there's no point. So one of the instruments which comes to my mind is Hanuman. The time at which he is jumping from the mountain to cross over the ocean. Now, if you will carefully examine, Hanuman shows a lot of transcendental intelligence while flying above the ocean. I don't remember much, but I remember 3 obstacles which came. There were probably more, but I remember 3. One mountain called Mainaka, one demoness called Sursa, and another Simhika. Simhini or I don't know, Simhika. So they represent various struggles in the life of sadhakas. The point which I'm trying to say is that if somebody becomes an instrument, the Lord offers them transcendental intelligence to deal with anarthas, cross over anartha nivritti, and do a successful service for the pleasure of the Lord. So the way Hanuman dealt with all these obstacles shows his transcendental intelligence. There is a acharya called Sri Govinda Rajulu in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya who says that the way Hanuman jumped from that mountain was like a Ram Band being shot from the bow of Lord Ram. So he was acting as an instrument. See, Lord Ram, if he wants, he can do everything on his own immediately in one shot and in one moment all together. Srila Prabhupada comments in one of the lectures that if Lord Ram wanted, he being the Paramatma would have desired, let Ravan get a heart attack and then he would have died. But why the Supreme Personality of Godhead seemingly takes help from monkeys, bears? Through his pastimes, he makes all these people as his instrument. It is not that Lord Ram cannot cross a person who can just heat up the ocean with one glance. It's mentioned in Bhagavatam when he prayed in front of the ocean for 3 days. When the ocean representative demigod did not come up, he just glanced at the ocean. And all the timinglas and the crocodiles and aquatics and the greatest of the greatest creatures, they were almost getting burnt and the ocean was getting dried up by his glance. A person who can do this, can't he not cross over the ocean just like that? So he takes help of various monkeys because they had this quality of surrender, aspiring to serve the Lord, full faith in the Lord, understanding that it's only the Lord who is acting through me. So he made these monkeys like Hanuman, Jamvant, Nal, Neel, Angada as his instruments. And when these people, they became instruments, their life became successful. Till now we are talking about Angad. Till now we are talking about Nal Neel. Till now we talk about that flight of Hanuman, where by the will of the Lord he showed transcendental intelligence. When he came in front of Mainaka, comforts which come while practicing bhakti, he said, until my mission is completed, I cannot take any comfort. When he came in front of Sursa, he was increasing his body, Sursa was increasing, he was increasing, Sursa was increasing. Then he understood that this is an anartha called ego. So until you become humble, you cannot defeat the egoistic exchanges which is happening in the society of sadhakas. So he showed transcendental intelligence. So similarly, in the life of Srila Prabhupada, if you see the kind of dealings which he had with his disciples, with his godbrothers, if you read those letters, conversations, you will understand Srila Prabhupada was exhibiting transcendental intelligence and unfathomable love for the Lord. So these are the perks, or these are the rewards of being an instrument. One will feel a lot of love for Krishna, and by the will of Krishna, by the grace of Krishna, one will exhibit transcendental intelligence in the service of the Lord. So with that, I would just like to conclude this initial pitch about becoming an instrument of Krishna. Let's try to have a discussion now, where we will try to see how in our lives, in our time, place, circumstances, limitations, situation, what is the best we can do and in what way we can do so that we can also become. How many of you believe that you can become an instrument of Krishna? Please. कुछ लोग तो हाथ भी हो ही नहीं सकता, हम इंस्ट्रूमेंट बन ही नहीं सकते. Those people who have such attitude, we should not associate with such people. See, only when we have desire we will become. अब जब desire ही नहीं है तो instrument बनेंगे कैसे? An instrument banna is completely in the hands of the Lord. Like Kartikeya Prabhu was telling in the morning, few things cannot be attained. It has to be gifted by the Guru Parampara. It has to be gifted by the Lord. So becoming an instrument is the will of the. You are the most sincere person, but if the Lord doesn't want to make you an instrument, what you can do? So at least you should have a desire. At least that lolyam, that greed should be there. And I want to serve the Lord. I want to become an instrument. I want to surrender to Him while serving. I want to have only aspiration, which the aspirations my Guru has or which Krishna has. I want to exhibit a rock solid faith. And I want to every moment feel empowered. Because when such an instrument, sadhaka, devotee, does something, and when they see something great happening, many devotees chanting Hare Krishna, they feel more humble. And they understand this is completely the empowerment of the Lord. This is not my job. So with this mood, with this initial pitch, let's now start discussing that how we can become an instrument of the Lord. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So before we start the discussion, let's thank Prabhuji. So I just told him that speak something on becoming an instrument so that we can start our discussion. And his talk was so nice, I was not stopping him. Like, go on. Then after some time, I told him yes. So let's thank Prabhuji for such a wonderful talk, and the acronym that he gave us today, SAFE. What was that? Surrender, aspiration, faith, empowerment. So let's thank Prabhuji by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So now what we'll do is, so Prabhuji has given us a very nice understanding of what an instrument is, how one can be an instrument. But now all of you 16 rounders, you have been reading Prabhupada's books, you have been hearing so many lectures. So what you have to do is now, you have to tell what we should do to become an instrument. How to become an instrument on a practical note, on day-to-day basis. What are we supposed to do? And Manas, who will write on the board, so whatever point you'll say, he'll write. You have to tell the point and you have to explain that point also. You know why? Don't take a long time, just 1 or 2 lines. Yes, like that we can hear from all the devotees, and we'll write it on the board, and then at the end I'll summarize. I would request Subandhu to start. Now we'll write how to become an instrument. So 1 point, Prabhuji, from you.
The first step I think being an instrument is giving up our own plan making tendencies. Okay, yeah, Prabhuji asking why we should give up the plan making tendencies. Yeah, many times we depend on our own intelligence and strength to execute some program, or maybe to achieve something, maybe in the Krishna service or what. But that also has a tendency that yes, I'm depending on myself to achieve something. But giving up the plan making tendencies and just following the Krishna's plan, that means we are just depending on the intelligence of Krishna, and we are just depending on the strength of Krishna to achieve something in the service of Krishna.
Thank you. Anyone would like to start? How to become an instrument? Practically in our day-to-day life, what we should do? That's the discussion.
So in the daily basis, we can follow the instruction of the superior we are associating on the daily
Follow
basis.
the instruction of the superior, immediate superior.
So why? Because so even after feeling that we don't have that qualification, what I realize is that if we execute what they have told, it actually helps, because they are saying what their superior is saying. So if we just follow them, we are pleasing their superior, and we are pleasing finally Srila Prabhupada also. So we can, because we don't know what is how to do preaching and all, but they say ki how to do. So if we just execute that, it will work. So
Yes. So follow the instruction of the immediate superior. Who is following the instruction of this superior? Nice. Yes. It has to be quick.
First is the how we become instrument. Like first instruction Prabhupada from his Guru Maharaj is to distribute the books. So by distributing books, we can.
Yeah, by distributing books. Yes. On a practical note, distributing books, we can become an instrument. That's your point.
We should have strong faith and determination to execute the spiritual master orders. That my spiritual authority told me, then it will definitely happen. So I have to just follow this as it is, and the determination towards it.
Your faith and determination towards the instruction. Yes.
We should have a strong sadhana.
We should have strong sadhana. That's a very, very practical point. We should have a strong sadhana. Yes. What is that? Okay, we should do Sravanam Kirtanam. Yes, so that will be part of sadhana. Good. Great.
Hare Krishna Prabhupada.
Yes. How to become an instrument on a practical day-to-day basis? That's the discussion.
The following parampara system. According to Acharyas, Prabhupada says in another lecture, we should become Guru. Guru means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says everyone should become Guru. So what we should do for that? We should speak what Krishna says. That is also Guru Maharaj.
Okay, repeat what parampara. Repeat the instructions of parampara. Yes.
Doing something sometimes which we might not be desiring to do, but for the pleasure of the superior. Something.
Okay. So doing things for the pleasure of the Lord, for the pleasure of the superiors. And in the bracket, even if we are unwilling. That's a nice point, yes. As Prabhuji nicely mentioned, he highlighted this point also. Yes.
Make your will as a Krishna's will, like as the Krishna's
Make
will,
Krishna's
so
will
will as a your will.
Okay, yes.
Sorry.
First one is what is our situation? How Make Krishna's will as your will. Yes, behind. What we should do practically?
should have strong conviction that what we are doing is right, like, for following the process.
Okay, so have conviction in the process. Have conviction in the process. And for us, the process is given by Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Have conviction in the process given by Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. So like Gabbar Prabhu was telling, taking some instruction of superiors and executing it nicely, then when we will, and depending on Krishna and doing that, then we will get to know that yes, if we are willing to surrender, then Krishna will make us instrument. That will be like practical. Our faith will also increase in that. So taking some instruction and following that while depending on
Yes,
Krishna.
I think we have follow the instructions and repeat the instructions. Yes. Excellent. Yes.
Prabhuji, continuing the service or seva which we have got, even though results are not coming for 2 to 3 days also.
Follow, be consistent. Yes. Yes, be consistent in the service.
Yeah, like giving up on our false ego or our own aim, and then think that we should follow the parampara. So I would just like to remember one small lecture that I was hearing about Prabhupada. He was remembering about his initiation day. So there he speaks that you people are all helping me, you people are representatives of my Guru Maharaj. And then he says that I used to continuously write letters to him, and then the only instruction that he still in the end he gave to me was to go and then preach in West. So he has helped, and then going back to the first point, like giving up on our false ego that we have. Like we might have our own personal aim or personal goal, but we exactly don't know that what should we be doing, because we are in this conditioned soul. So we have to follow Guru Parampara. We have to see what they're doing, and we have to make our will or our wishes whatever Guru says. And on a day-to-day basis, what I think practically can be done is like we have superiors, and then we have their own disciples, and then the whole parampara going on. If we facilitate them, then we can, because their disciples' desires are non-different from the Guru's. So that is how we can facilitate it.
Yes, don't have personal agenda. Those points is very nice. Don't have personal agenda. Yes, Harigaru.
Ishmaji, constant meditation upon developing a humble mood, just like how a potter uses a soft clay to make the pot. Once it's hard, it's not possible. So one must always aim to develop humility and a soft heart. Only then it is malleable and it can be made into an instrument to the service of the Lord.
Humility. How do you make the heart soft?
Proceed?
How do you make your heart soft?
That
Another quality we always thought. Humility and one more quality.
humility and tolerance is
Tolerance, okay. Gratitude as well. Yes. Nice. Now, yes, Nikhil,
Offering prayers to the Lordship.
offering prayers, very nice. It's very practical. Offering prayers. Offering prayers. Then when you're offering prayers, at least take me your instrument. That's such a practical thing.
Giving credits to the superiors and the whole parampara, not taking to oneself.
Okay, passing on the credits to our superiors. Yes, passing the credits to Parampara. Yes.
Desire to serve the Lord.
Desire to become an instrument. Yes, an equally great desire. Desire to become an instrument.
And we need to have strong faith.
Correct, faith, it's there. One point we already had. Yes, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, here.
Constant association of enthusiastic devotees.
Yes, constant association of nice instruments. Yes. Constant association license here, Chaitanya. Yes.
We ourselves sincerely following our sadhana and bhakti.
Very nice. Yes, sadhana. The point was there, I guess. Right? Sadhana. Strong sadhana. Yes.
By avoiding duplicacy.
By avoiding duplicity. Yes, avoid duplicity because the instrument has to be straightforward, simple.
Hare Krishna. Associating with those people who have that eagerness to serve.
who are already acting as an instrument. So if we be with them, we can also develop.
Associating, constant association of instruments is
So not attaching to the result.
okay. Not being attached to results. Being attached to results.
Coming out of our comfort zone to execute the orders of superiors.
Very nice. Coming out of comfort zone. We can give 3 hours class with all these points. Very nice. Any other point? Yes.
Humbleness and dasya bhava.
Yes. And what about Sakya? Very good. That point of the humility and that point was like this. And
Leaving the concept of me and I, that I am doing, me doing, and have a strong faith on.
getting up once and then okay. Nice. Thank you. Good. What else? Becoming an instrument. How to become an instrument? Practical points for everyday life. That we can implement.
Hare Krishna. We have to cooperate with each other.
Cooperation, very important. Yes, cooperation. Prabhupada has given us instruction. Please cooperate. No, don't ask me. This one.
No, in this one. Having faith when things are not working, like when we get the seva, but things are not working the way, like fundraising, I'm not able to fundraise. Realization is to have the faith even the things are not working properly. That's really tough.
So I think that can be part of consistency. Be consistent. Yes, be consistent in the same. Yes.
Not criticizing devotees, especially.
Not criticizing devotees.
That will create offense.
Yes. So avoid offense again. Right? Avoid offense.
Cook for the devotee.
Prabhuji, maintaining a constant mode of gratitude for everything that we're getting, everything is seen as the mercy of the Lord and the devotees.
Yes, gratitude.
Hearing about Srila Prabhupada, how much sacrifice he did, so automatically we'll get that.
Hearing the sacrifice of the acharyas really helps, right? Sacrifice of the acharyas.
Giving up material things.
Giving up material things. Giving up material attachments. Okay. So that can be part of agenda. Giving up personal agenda. Okay. Good.
By doing Nagar Sankirtan.
Nagar Sankirtan. Book distribution Nagar Sankirtan. You become good instrument. Book distribution is Satviki and Sankirtan. Nagar Sankirtan. Third point. And Nagar Sankirtan.
By cooking for the devotees.
By cooking for the devotees. Yes, cooking for the devotees.
I don't cover. Prabhuji, always being eager, just like you mentioned in your class, always being eager to serve, maintaining a constant mode of servitude. I don't think that's there.
Always eager to serve.
Desire, top first point. Desire to serve.
Desire. Point number desire. Desire to serve. Here, first point. Desire to serve. To serve. So desire to serve, to desire to become an instrument. Yes.
Correct. Spreading the message received from Parampara as it is.
Okay. So passing on the message as it is. So here is passing the credits to Parampara. Where is it? Where it is written? Repeat the instruction of Parampara. Yes, correct.
Being helpless, Prabhuji, like only being helpless, only depending on the mercy of the Parampara and the Guru.
Really nice. So, depending on the mercy of the Parampara. Yes, we don't have that one. Right? Depending on the mercy of Parampara.
Prabhuji, being non-judgmental to flaws of other devotees and others.
Okay. Non-judgmental. Cooperation is something and non-judgmental. Cooperation and non-judgment. Avoid offense.
Prabhuji, this tolerance, whatever it comes, I'll tolerate it because I want to achieve.
Tolerance, correct.
Sacrifice and some mode of service attitude.
Yes, tolerance is there. Cooperation. What was your point? Cooperation, non-judgmental and non-judgmental.
By preaching,
By preaching.
as Mahaprabhu said, "Na tare dekho, tare dekho," Krishna Upadesh, as it is repeated.
Yes, yes, yes. So that's repeating the instructions of Parampara. Yes.
To being enthusiastic, or at least trying to develop that enthusiasm to become a servant of the Lord.
Develop enthusiasm to serve.
Giving up independent nature.
Okay, giving up independent nature so that don't have personal agenda. Yes. Is there? Don't have personal agenda. Yes. And for that enthusiasm, develop enthusiasm.
Hope against hope.
Hope against hope, Asha Bandha. That is the symptom of Bhava. Hope against hope. It was there. No? Krishna died yes. Hope against hope. That's a nice one.
Embrace any service wholeheartedly, giving up independent.
Embrace any service. Be ready to do any service.
Prabhu, imbibing the surrender mode, that is renunciation mode, giving time, giving money, whatever we are.
Becoming a missionary, yes, missionary. Become a missionary. Give up everything. Time, energy, money, yes. Become a missionary. Okay, any last few points because we don't have space in the board now.
Maintaining one's own purity.
Purity, yes. So then you can write strong sadhana and purity. Strong sadhana and purity. I do the positive. Yes. Donating, yes, from the service. So become missionaries of that time, energy, and money. Time.
Maintaining a positive attitude, seeing every circumstance as an opportunity to serve.
How do you put that in few words? Do we have anything? Be positive. Be positive. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Serving attitude towards devotees.
Serving attitude towards devotees. Somewhere it was there, no? Serving devotees. I desire to serve, yes.
Being compassionate in general.
Like being compassionate. Here you can write gratitude and compassion.
Giving up material attachment also.
Giving up material attachment. Krishna Pyar. Giving up material attachment. Yes, not being attached to result. I think that will cover that one. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, to give up laziness.
Okay, give up lethargy. Okay. Give up lethargy. And maybe last 2 points. We board with Jagannath. Last 2 points. Yes. Anyone else? How to become an instrument?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. 2 points I have Prabhuji mentioned to becoming only great heroes can become instrument. So be a great hero to be an instrument.
Become a great hero.
As Prabhuji said, only great heroes can become instrument. And the another point is to develop our desire, how to serve, how to fulfill the Guru's desire.
Yes, we have desire to serve. Yes. Good. Any other point? Okay, accept feedback. Very important one, right? That accept feedbacks. They work on feedback, you can write. Work on feedback. Yes. Okay. So these are the different points that all of us have come together and we have noted down. in our ongoing morning discussion, or the discussion that we started in the morning of Ramanand Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Samvad. So after Ramanand Rai, he spoke about the 5 rasas and he spoke about Srimati Radharani. So there Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, कृपा करिए तत्व कहता मारे तुमा विना के यह निरूपित नारे. Kindly explain all the truths to me. And he says, no one can ascertain them except you. Only you can do that. So at that time, Ramananda Rai says, Rai kahe ihami kichui nai jani tumi ei kaho sei kahiyami vani. I don't know anything about this. I simply vibrate the sound that you make me to speak. So tumi vakta, tumi shrota. You're the one, speaking through me, and you're only hearing. So that's the point that is made. So becoming an instrument. So we understand in this pastime that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made Ramananda Rai as an instrument to give us this wonderful theology of Krishna consciousness, especially this very high level of philosophy that we discussed today. Now, in our day-to-day life, the first, whatever we listed here, we'll try to put it in sequence and see, how we can implement. See, first and foremost is surrender. Surrender is very important. Sharanagati. So, each and every devotee should implement the angas of Sharanagati, at least the first 2. What are the first 2? Anukulya Sankalpa and Pratikulya Varjanam. That was the point which Acyuta Arjunasakha Prabhu also made. Surrender. That was the first point. Surrender. Yes. So first is we need to act on it. Accept whatever is favorable for Krishna consciousness and reject whatever is not favorable for Krishna consciousness immediately. So at least all the 16 rounders have to take care of this. It has to be done immediately. Tell me, if 16 rounder devotees were following 4 regulative principles or striving to follow 4 regulative principles, if they don't become instrument, who is going to become instrument? As Prabhupada was telling, who is going to become an instrument? We only. Having a desire, we should have a desire. And if you really want to become an instrument, the first thing is surrender. And surrender is not some emotion or whatever. Practically execute. Things which are favorable, accept. Things which are not favorable, reject. And rest 4, will follow as a gift given by the Lord. Second one, we can take from here, strong sadhana. Very important, quality sadhana. Yes. When it comes to sadhana, Prabhupada has given us the morning 5 hours of sadhana, starting with Mangalarti, and it ends with Bhagavatam class and Prasad. So all that has to be done very, very properly. And in that, the most important element of sadhana that is given to us and emphasized during the time of initiation is chanting the holy names, japa. Those 16 rounds of japa that we do. If you really want to become a very good instrument, this japa is very, very important. Very, very important. And someone had spoken about Sravanam. So, japa, no doubt. And along with that, the studying Shastra and understanding what actually Lord wants me to do. That's sadhana, quality sadhana. When we study scriptures, we can align our mind, we can align ourselves to the instructions of Hari Guru Vaishnavas. Someone mentioned here aparadha, offenses. So this part of sadhana to avoid offenses. Because if you're not vigilant about avoiding offenses, how can we become a good instrument? We cannot become a good instrument, surely. And when it comes to quality sadhana, we have to give quality time. Just half an hour, 1 hour will not do. How much time we should give? How much time we should give? More than maximum time of our day. If we are awake 16 hours, at least 8 hours a day. At least 8 hours a day. What do you all say? Is it possible? Yeah. Thoda Hari Bol boliye. Oh. निकल ले रहा like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he looked at Jagannath. Give my bottle. Yes. Purity was mentioned here. Purity of self. Very, very important. Purity at the level of body, mind, and words. This is something that all of us have to do it consciously. No sinful activities at all. At the level of body, at the level of speech, even at the level of mind. So purity of self. Then there was one point on purity of purpose. So you see multiple points will be aligned to that. Purity of purpose. Aligned to the desire of Hari Guru Vaishnavas. And in the purity of purpose, we can also put no personal agenda. Yes. Because if the instrument has a personal agenda, just imagine, I have a pen, thoda bada pen hai. Say I have a pen and I want to write Krishna, yes, and it is writing Kamsa. It is not acting as an instrument then. So important is having no personal agenda. So that person can become a very good instrument. So align our desires with the desire, align to the desires of Hari Guru Vaishnavas, and no personal agenda, no personal motives. I don't know how many times I have to repeat this because naturally we, rebellious living entities, will have some or the other personal agenda. I'm talking about myself. We have to keep repeating again and again and again that I just want to work for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. Again and again we have to remind ourselves. And very nice point was mentioned about cultivating service attitude. Yes. So an instrument without service attitude, what will that instrument do in Krishna consciousness? Yes. The service attitude. Now as soon as we say service attitude, we should be ready to serve everyone, superiors, equals, juniors, newcomers, doesn't matter. We should be ready to serve. As Prabhuji very beautifully he spoke about Hanuman, ready to serve. Service attitude, we need to cultivate the service attitude. And work on feedback. There's a point, work on feedback. Say instrument is faulty and someone is giving feedback to improve the instrument, make the instrument perfect. And just imagine the instrument is saying, I am already perfect. I don't accept this. But the instrument is faulty. If the instrument thinks that the instrument is perfect and not accept the instruction and not accept the feedback, tell me how will that instrument become perfect in the service of Guru and Krishna? Very difficult to accept feedback. How many of you agree with me? Oh, everyone. You know? Prabhuji बोल रहे indirectly बोल रहे feedback मत दो. Actually, it's very difficult to accept feedback, and you know why? Because for many, many lifetimes, we are striving to be independent. We are striving to be masters, and masters don't like feedback. Servants like feedback. Masters don't like feedback. Yes. Therefore, this is a very important point. I'm reminding myself also that I need to accept corrections and feedback given by Hari Guru Vaishnavas. Especially the feedback given by equals is very, very important. They keep giving a lot. Sometimes it might not be that relevant, but sometimes it might be very relevant. So giving a very good oral reception to their feedback is very important. And as soon as the superior gives feedback, there's no question of thinking about it. We have to implement. We like it or we don't like it. Yes. And when juniors give feedback, implement immediately. Because surely they're going through something, therefore they're giving feedback. So implement immediately so that they will be saved in Krishna consciousness. There's a point on humility. Humility, gratitude, tolerance. See, these are the qualities which can be cultivated. There are many qualities which have to be gifted. This also should be gifted with time, but then this can also be cultivated. So an instrument which is humble, which is grateful for everything that it has received and tolerant in every situation, just imagine how wonderful the instrument will be. In fact, one thing that we have seen, at least with whatever little preaching that we have been doing and little management, If we just be tolerant in that situation and not open this mouth, which has got that boneless muscle inside called tongue, a lot of situations get sorted out. Just tolerate at that time. That's it. Just tolerate. So this particular thing has been taught to me personally by Harikshetra Prabhu many times. I've been telling, tolerate, tolerate. And with time, I'm realizing that just by tolerating, big problems get sorted out. Big problem automatically. But if you speak something at that point without thinking, oh, very difficult, very difficult. So the instrument has to be really tolerant. Humility has to be cultivated as you go higher and higher. As the instrument is given more and more responsibilities, as you go higher and higher, your humility also has to go higher and higher. Yes. Because if the humility doesn't go higher and higher, we cannot act as a good instrument, surely. You take up any senior devotee in ISKCON who is doing massive service in ISKCON, you'll see they're really humble to the core. To the core. One spiritual master was correcting his disciple. You know what the disciple did? He took the beads from his bead bag, which was given by spiritual master, and said, "Nahi chahiye." He threw on the spiritual master, "Nahi chahiye tera beads." And he left that place, rejecting the initiation. And the spiritual master, you know what he did? He took those beads, went to his room, convinced that disciple, and gave the beads again. Humility. Humility, you see? Many, we can give a lot of example and give a class also on humility. But I'm just saying that as you go higher and higher, humility matters a lot. And gratitude for everything that we have received matters a lot, yes. And this point of depending on the mercy is a very important point. Depending on the mercy, I think few points can be clubbed, and that can be one point that is made. Depending on the mercy of the Lord and not being attached to the results. So finally, whose mission is this? Whose mission? People are confused. Whose mission is this? Lord's mission. It's not our mission, it's Lord's mission. We are an instrument in the Lord's mission. And Lord will give whatever results is supposed to be sanctioned, He'll sanction. Our job is to endeavor. So depending on the mercy of Guru and Krishna, that point, depending on the mercy of the Parampara, very important. Yes. And another point which I was thinking about, we have this point of willingness and offering. Exclusively telling the Lord that I want to become your instrument. Such an important point, you see. Willingness and prayers, desire and prayers. You can put it the way you want. On a practical note, if you want to be an amazing instrument, be available and be reliable. I want to be an instrument, but sorry, I don't have time. How's that? So be available. And second is be reliable. Especially, when we are in a preaching mission, when something is given to us as a service, it has to be done end to end. All of you are the ones who want to lead services. It has to be done end to end. It cannot be given up in between. Mujhe pata nahi tha. All that thing will not be entertained. We have to be reliable. Our superiors should give service and forget about it. They should forget saying, "Pata ye ho jayega." That's how it should be. Another very important point. We have to act with integrity. Even if someone is not watching us, still, we as a Brahmana, we continue acting as an instrument and not become a master in between. Yes. Even when no one is watching us. So act with integrity. And the only result, there are a few points which can be clubbed again. The only result that we expect as an instrument is pleasing Hari, Guru, Vaishnavas. This is, I think we can write in bold somewhere, that my goal of life is to please Hari, Guru, Vaishnavas. That person will be an instrument, perfect instrument. And Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas, everyone will use him as an instrument to do wonderful service in this mission of Krishna consciousness. And finally, this point of becoming a missionary. is very, very important. Acting with integrity also has the point of consistency. So really, no one is watching us, I'll continue doing now whatever is assigned. Doesn't matter what is the situation, I'll continue doing it. Yes, switch off this fan. And when it comes to being a missionary, so I'll just discuss on this and we'll end for today. See, very, very important to be a missionary in this mission. And as a missionary, the thing that we do is we give our time, we give our energy, we give our hard-earned money. If you see any Christian missionary for that matter, they give these three. They give their time. Therefore, each and every, especially 16-rounder devotees, forget about others. 16-rounder devotees are expected to be missionaries in the mission. You like it or you don't like, you're subscribed for it. Yes, you're subscribed for it now. As soon as you begin chanting 16 rounds, following 4 relative principles, the missionaries at the top, the parampara, expects us to be a missionary. And missionary means should be ready to give time. Ready to give time for one's own advancement and for the advancement of the mission. Ready to do anything for the mission, going to any extent. That's giving energy. And giving money. Yes, I was hearing that from our finance in charge, that donations are not coming Prabhu monthly. There is no need of telling every month that give donation. If you're a missionary, it has to go from your hard-earned money to the temple's account. There's no question about asking that please give and do this and do that. Then you are not a missionary. You're just that worm in the cocoon. You have your cocoon and you're happy in that. That's it. Missionary means you're out of your comfort zone. And there's so many wonderful missionaries in ISKCON. It's wonderful. As Prabhuji was mentioning about 50% salary, giving away 50% hard-earned money, it's actually very painful. But there are many grahasthas are doing it. I don't know how they do it. अच्छा मैंने पहले ही जॉब छोड़ दिया. These classes then I know बहुत मुश्किल होता है 50%. Actually, it's not easy, isn't it? Because a lot of thought process that will come. How things will be taken care, who will take care, I have to save, I have to plan. But I see so many grahastha devotees in ISKCON, I'm very proud of them. They give 50% salary just like that. Just like that, 50% of their earnings. And one thing is for sure, now when you're giving it to Krishna, Krishna reciprocates. This one grahastha shared his own realization with me, because he was giving donation after donation. I said, oh, enough, you save. He said, oh, I've seen, I save and it goes with someone for someone's health or some crisis at home. But when I'm giving, a lot of thing comes from. So I'm not giving with selflessness. There is selfishness behind also. I felt that's logical. That's what Shastras also say. You give, you get. So we have to be a missionary. Putting all these points together, one thing which I would like to end with is, see, we are here to become an instrument. Yes. We have to become an instrument, an asset, and not a liability. Every single 16-rounder devotee have to contemplate on this. I don't want to be a burden on ISKCON. I want to be an asset of ISKCON. Yes. What do you mean by burden? How can you become a burden of in ISKCON? This is the conclusion of my book, by the way. The book which I'm writing, that's the last chapter. What is that? Every now and then you need counseling. Okay, but it's okay. Taking counseling is not a problem. How do you become a burden? What is that? Okay, disturbing other devotees. How do you disturb other devotees? By what? See, other devotees, especially for us, is those productive devotees at the top. They do a lot of service. So when you get their attention for your nonsensical activities, you're wasting their time. So just imagine any time a devotee like this, who is playing an important role in ISKCON, when he does some blunder, you do some politics, you do some mischief, you do get into some illicit activity, what happens? Since you're one of the responsible member or you're one of the members of ISKCON, since you're chanting 16 rounds, following 4 relative principles, initiated. So what happens is people at the top have to give time. They have to give their energy. Same time energy could be invested in expansion of the mission. No? But that time we have to give here. Therefore, very, very important point that if we really want to be an asset for ISKCON, we have to make sure we contemplate on this. ऐसे कुछ भी नहीं करना है, which will waste the time of my superiors, their energy. Very, very important point. Yes. Therefore, be an asset and not a liability. So this is what I will say for this entire discussion that we had about becoming a good instrument in the hands of Hari, Guru, Vaishnavas. Okay, any questions you want to ask? Final questions before we end. How many of you have questions? Raise your hands. 1, 2.
Prabhuji, so Prabhuji, how to develop or maintain faith when like we got this seva, but we are not able to do it, and at that time we feel like this seva we cannot do it at any cost, and we cannot trust the God. Like, it's not that I'm atheist, but I'm not able to trust the God when the results are not coming. It becomes so hard to continue the service. Like like when things doesn't move forward.
See, on a practical note, we have to discuss such things with our superior, especially service authority. So this is very practical. Discuss and try to sort it out. Try to get some inputs. Second thing is that if the things that we mentioned about sadhana and purity, etc., when we maintain that, Krishna will give intelligence how to implement that. Yes. And we have to pray. When we pray, surely things manifest with time. But with all this, one important thing is patience. Because the results will not come quickly. Whatever we are expecting. Just imagine we do something and tomorrow expecting result. How is that possible? So as mature devotees, see, all devotees sitting are expected to be mature. As mature devotees, one has to be very patient. When you're doing some service, like taking guidance from superiors, and executing it according to our capacity and being patient is very, very important. Even after all these results are not coming, no problem. You have endeavored, be happy. Change the service. Talk to your superior, change the service. Something like that. But immediate expectation is a problem. Hare Krishna. You got your answer. Yes. Any other question? Okay. So the prasad time, I understand. Yes. But I would like to hear, before we end today's Shravan camp, so it's 5 o'clock, and all of you have very amazingly sat today for 6 hours of class. And I was very happy to see that devotees were not sleeping. Even after morning heavy prasad of paneer and rice and sweet, I was very happy to see. That shows that all the devotees here are eager to advance in bhakti. That shows. I want to hear from few of you that what are your learnings from today's Shravan camp? Yes, quickly. Some reflections.
We should at least have the desire to become an instrument. Even we are not qualified yet, but someday we can be. So we should have the desire to become the instrument.
What are the points that you take? Yes, that's the point. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. From morning to up to the main thing I learn from and I want to work on it. Like first starting very nice. Prabhuji started the how the bhava, and after that madhurya bhava, the different types of rasas. So previously I don't know about all those. So I know but some how we develop that bhava by doing service and by following the instruction of Guru, and these all many things. The main aim of this Shravan camp is to how we engage 64 angas and more time doing this Shravanam, Kirtanam. Lo, today I realized that when we go office, I slept sometime, but when we have eagerness to hear about Krishna, it's automatically will not get any laziness or anything. So that is the quality, that is the aim of our life, and that is the permanent. Today I realize. So temporary things are we get sleep. So we have to always desire, like Prabhu said, to at least we can try. If you don't have qualification, also we can try. So one day I hope some point one so become pure devotee. So at least try. No.
Why don't you become permanent?
Let's.
Very well. Yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This
yes.
yeah. Prabhuji, after listening this Ramanandra and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, I got that what we are aspiring is very, very great, and what is my condition is very, very less. So still Lord Gauranga is so merciful. If we are seriously endeavor, definitely Lord Gauranga and our Guru Parampara will shower mercy on us. So my current condition is very less, and what we are aspiring for is very huge. So this distance is very long.
So you realized today.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vijay.
Okay.
So one theme which was common in all the classes is to develop this service mode, which was there in Harishit Prabhuji class also. In your class, how you describe the 5 rasas. So in that, the main component was the service mode they have. And Prabhuji mentioned that if we are struggling with service mode, if we have a service mode, then it is very easy to proceed. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So the common thread which I got from the first session till the last was about the lolyam. So which we need to create a greed to practice the devotional services. In the first, Prabhuji was mentioning that lolyam is the currency from which we can buy the ecstatic love and we can advance in bhakti. That's the greed we need to create. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So I learned that we just somehow or the other we need to stick with devotees who have the desire, intense desire to be an instrument of the Lord or have the right service. Just be with them.
Correct. Just be with that association. Also today, another point is all of you are able to remain awake and hear was telling in office he gets sleep, but here he was awake. I'm sure that will be the case with many of us. Because that's the power of Sangha. That's the power of Sangha of sincere, serious devotees. See, if you're not sincere, serious, you cannot sit like this for 6 hours. It's not possible. Because today, one of the things I want to test is to see how many people are actually sincere, serious. How many run away from today's Shravan camp. I could see that everyone. So as soon as you come in the Sangha of sincere, serious people, naturally the enthusiasm will rub off on each other. That's how we'll be able to sustain very nicely. Very nice. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So today I understood like why pure devotional service is costly. So it was mentioned that like pure devotion means we need to engage more than 50% of our time in the right angas of the bhakti. So if you want to make any rapid advancement, so we need to engage in pure devotion. Then we can make rapid advancement in bhakti.
This side also might can go there also. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So in second session, Harikshit Prabhuji was saying that great devotee feels them as unqualified and insignificant and they consider the glories of Lord. So I can realize that if any moment I am thinking I am doing this or I am a great devotee or some feeling of this coming, it means I am wasting that particular time. So if that moment can be tested if I am serving or not. So I got this testing parameter if that moment is for service or not.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. One point that I would like to say is that you said that we should try to not try. We should kind of maintain purity in ourselves. it's even Prabhupada says that purity is the force. So when we ourselves are pure, we generally we automatically attract others. So we have to be firm in our sadhana. We have to become pure, and that's how we can spread this message.
That's one thing that you're taking today.
Prabhuji, one important point what you learned today is you mentioned Shravanam leads attachment to Krishna. So today I felt like this is the easiest and laziest way. So all we have to do is sit and hear, and that leads our attachment to Krishna.
Yes. Sit here and between you feel sleepy, doze off, again get up here. Put something in the mouth, again sit and here.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. Maybe one and another, maybe one or two behind.
Hare Krishna. So by hearing our heart also purified, or all the doubts also clarified, and we can understand by hearing by the devotees, we can understand. By reading also we couldn't understand. Sometimes we get some doubts or confusion. But by hearing the devotees, we could understand clearly, and our mind also observe in that. So it is very nice to hear. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the entire session. So here I got one clarification, like there are multiple rasas as this has been discussed, and also in our literature this has been studied in our basic Hindi structure, Hindi literature. So these rasas has been discussed, but always I was anchoring that Madhurya rasa is best, as you also mentioned that from neutral point of view. But if we'll be in any rasa, then no devotee wants to switch in another rasa. It means that they are completely satisfied, like Lord Hanuman or other Arjuna or any Gopas. So they don't want to, they are completely satisfied. And coming to me, I don't have Trishna Tyag only, so how we can aspire for the rasa? So I should first try to imbibe these qualities, Trishna Tyag and then Krishna Nishtha. Yes. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
During my session, I had this thing. Everyone should realize it was for the new one. Forget about later points. So I think that has gone into the heads. Yes. Okay, one or two more. Maybe 2 minds. Yes. 2 devotees. Behind it, someone wants to speak. Here. Okay, love and Arjun. Yes.
Hi, Ishmaji. So this point that Bharata Krishna Prabhuji made in the morning, where the concepts of loving affairs between the Lord and the devotees is delineated in the Gaudiya Vaishnava literature. So this is a very nice point to meditate upon, where we're so lucky that we have these concepts, this philosophy so systematically given to us by our acharyas. So it's because of them that we have this opportunity now to hear all these pastimes, and there's something for me to take back, where every morning I should make a humble effort to pray to these personalities, Srila Prabhupada, Rupa Goswami, because it's because of them, their hard work, that we have this much detail. No other philosophy out there is as supreme as what we have here in our community. So we should be very grateful for what we have, and constant mood of gratitude to our acharyas.
Gaudiya Vaishnavism at the top.
Hare Krishna. So from the first session by Harikshita Prabhuji, he mentioned, then when we consider ourselves very low, I mean, we don't have any, what do you call it? Yeah, that Lord is, I mean, so great, and I am not qualified for such a thing. And when that potential is there, that difference, potential difference, then current of devotion that will flow very nicely. So that was such a nice point. And in second session where you told that regarding Trishna Tyag, that first when we focus on this, that anukulasya sankalpam and partikulasya varjanam. So there that will come when we'll do that. And third session, like Prabhuji was telling, that being a nice instrument. And the purpose you told, that in the big bold letters we should write that whatever I'm doing is for pleasure of Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas. So That's what I got. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Like the mode of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, or sunaiye, or bataiye. Like that mode we should also have, like eagerness to hear. So that is one thing. And one more thing, like last Arjunasakha Prabhu was telling, like if we just become instruments, so all the obstacles, he was giving the example of Hanuman, he was passing through the sea, like so obstacles, the Lord will give the intelligence to like fight with against these obstacles. So we should be the instrument. Hare Krishna.
When should we have the next round camp? नहीं ये तुरंत नहीं मेरे पास आपने वो क्या